Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists nurse practitioners with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about malpractice and tail insurance review. So when I'm going over a contract with the nurse practitioner, what are some of the key areas we look at when it comes to malpractice insurance? And then if it is a claims-made policy, how do they handle tail insurance as well? So first, we need to identify what type of policy it is. Generally, if you're working in a private practice, maybe a physician-owned practice, or if you're in a state where you're autonomous, another NP-owned practice, it's either going to be an occurrence-based policy or claims-made. And so the difference is an occurrence policy means the policy has to be in effect when the malpractice incident occurs. So you are covered indefinitely, no tail insurance is necessary. It's just if the policy is in place and something happens, you're covered. Now, if it's a claims-made policy, simply means a policy has to be in effect when the claim is actually made, so like when you are actually sued. And so there could be a scenario where you leave the employer, contract terminates, your claims-made policy terminates on your last day of employment as well. And so there's going to be a gap in between the last patient that you saw with the practice and then the last day you can be sued. It's usually around 2 years in most states. And so you need a second policy that covers the gap in between when the contract terminates and then the last day somebody can sue you. And that's called tail insurance. So if you have a claims-made policy, somebody needs to purchase tail insurance, and most of the time the NP will have a claims-made policy. Now, if an NP is working for a hospital or healthcare network, sometimes they are self-insured, and just to make it very simple, in that scenario, generally you don't have to worry about tail insurance. So let's talk about kind of the differences between occurrence and claims made as far as the cost. An occurrence policy is around a third more expensive per year. And then if you have a claims-made policy and have to purchase tail is usually around twice what your annual premium is. So as an NP, somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 would be a standard kind of annual premium amount. So if you had to purchase tail, you just double that. So let's just say somewhere between $2,000 to $4,000. It's a one-time payment. You don't have to pay it every year, but it's still a cost that an NP would prefer not to have to pay, obviously. So this is something that is negotiable. And then your role is also important, meaning are you an employee or an independent contractor? As an employee, it's more likely that the employer would pay for your tail if it was a claims-made policy. If you are an independent contractor, most of the time you're going to have to cover your underlying annual premium and tail insurance as well if you have a claims-made policy. If it's up to you, meaning either you have to purchase it yourself or the employer is saying, we'll give you, whatever type of policy you get. An occurrence-based policy generally makes the most sense financially. People go into jobs hoping it's going to work out long-term, but I can tell you it's pretty rare nowadays for someone to be in a job 5-10 years. It just doesn't happen very often. And so if you just do the math on how much you're going to have to pay down the line, many times getting an occurrence-based policy makes the most sense. And it's just nice to not have to worry about getting tail and how long you want the tail for and that type of thing. So anyway, that's a little background on some of the things that I discuss with a nurse practitioner when they have their malpractice policy language in their contract. And then just a little breakdown of tail insurance. It's just helpful for someone to kind of understand the differences between the two, and then what the potential monetary amount that they're going to have to spend on tail as well. So if you have any questions about an employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm. All of our information is listed below in the description, and I appreciate you watching the video. All right, thanks. Take care.